Hi, this is Ashio, and welcome back to Roman's Christmas. We are on the extras section of the game, which I just thought might be a little short, cute thing, but no, it's quite an extended section. So we're going to take our time and do this properly. We have kind of gone back in time, and Roman has full knowledge of what happened to all the people who got murdered and killed. And using that, he's trying to go through the same sequence of events, but trying to prevent the murders. We've gone through the first incident. Cain and Sean survived. It is now Christmas Day, so this is the day the Anzocs got knocked out, wasn't it? The snow is still falling outside as I slowly got up from the bed. I think I overslept. The doors in the hallway are closed. I originally thought that if I went to sleep, I'd wake up in the agency again, but it doesn't seem so. I went downstairs. The guests had all gathered in the hall, drinking and laughing. So it's going to be the same, but I guess Sean and that are still going to be alive. Peter, Ionis and Elegant were seated at the round table in the hall. Peter had a mug in his hands and was chugging the contents as Ionis laughed. Elegant watched silently from her seat across from them, sometimes taking a sip of cider from her cup. Lunik and Solo were seated at the counter. Sean passed by me as he went upstairs to fetch something for them. Vincel sat beside the bar, fiddling with his tie. His coat was as straight as ever. He and the Marquis talking about the current fashions of the court. Three of the Anzocs and Heron were sitting by the fireplace. Heron had just gone through a failed bout of evangelism and was clearly frustrated. In the kitchen, Sarzan was fiercely arguing with Cain about something. As best I could tell, they were arguing about changes to the Christmas menu. It was so different from what happened before. Okay, everybody's here, everybody's still alive, and enjoying Christmas as they should. I should find a place to sit down and have a chat. Where do we sit? I sit by the hearth, we'll just go through. I dragged the chair over to the fireplace. As Anzocs rose to get another drink, Heron touched Anzocs' elbow with his empty mug. Can you get me a refill, please? Wow, I didn't take you for a drinker, father. Anzocs balanced two mugs in one hand and his lute in the other as he headed toward the counter. I still think he'd make a great waiter. Anzocs filled the mugs and returned. Here you go. God bless you, my child. The Red Dragon shrugged and sat down. Okay, let's chat. I sat next to Anzocs. What's up? About Cain. It's been a long time since I saw Cain. It's nice to see him again. Yeah. He's a good drinking buddy, even though he never requested a song from me. If he did, wouldn't it just be like that Bible verse? Which one? Give not that which is holy to the dogs, nor cast you your pearls before swine. Still, he's much better at drinking than you. Okay, about the snow. Do you think it's going to stop tomorrow? What do I look like, a village witch? How should I know? But I thought you said that was just me trying to raise spirits. Would you rather I say something like, oh no, the snow's going to keep falling and we'll all be trapped in here until the spring thaw? If I said something like that, I'd have my tongue cut out. So it's better to say something nice, right? Okay, we'll leave it there. It's warmer sitting by your side though. Oh, yeah, naturally. Let's talk to Heron then. Looks like the snow's letting up. It's the will of God, I suppose. Unlike the flood that washes all sins away, no matter how heavy the snow is, it can only cover sin. That's confusing. So, all the sins of Rimp are buried deep down under the heavy snow, but the snow eventually melts. No matter how deep sins are buried, they shall be revealed by the light of the sun. Aha. Let's talk to the Thrivy then. I sat down beside him. Can I help? Talk about being a doctor. Being a doctor's hard, right? Why are you asking this all of a sudden? Why do you think being a doctor's hard work? Last time we said that because of the medicine chest being heavy. Let's talk about workplaces. Didn't you say you got here from another district because you lost your way? Yeah, I did. Villa District is connected to three others. Lives of most people in each district are kinda not so pleasant. Particularly in the Karnak district. Karnak? Have you been there? I had a case there a long time ago. I hope you didn't get sick when you went there. The population there is particularly vulnerable to dysentery. I didn't get sick, but I did get pushed off a roof and was stuck in bed for 3 days. My word, if you can recover from that sort of fall that quickly, then you must be quite robust. Okay, talk about your book. I'm just curious, what exactly was that weird looking book you had last night? The cover had a bunch of symbols that were completely incomprehensible to me. Unsurprising, the book is written with a cipher to prevent others from accessing the knowledge. Maybe I shouldn't have asked. It's quite alright. Many ask that kind of question. I'm used to it. Okay. Well then, a toast to your health, detective. Trevi raised his mug and shook it in the air, and then took a sip. Cool, let's go sit with some other people over at the counter. Here we go. I wouldn't worry so much, Marcus Harlock. All you have to do is wait until the snow stops, and you can make it to His Majesty's Christmas feast. It's already too late. It's Christmas today. I'm sure to miss the feast if the snow doesn't stop by noon. And there's also the matter of my carriage. Oh, la malchance, le malheur. I'm sure that's merely a temporary setback for you. Lunik rolled his eyes. Don't try to flatter me, merchant. Okay, let's talk to Vinsel, because this guy is gunning for Heron, but he accidentally hits Andox. So if you're watching this video, I'm kind of assuming that you're already familiar with the main plot, so is it a spoiler? Hopefully not for you. So let's sit down and have a chat. What brings you to me, my good detective? Okay, why did you come to Rimph? I assume it's quite a long trip from your home to Rimph, right? Certainly, I haven't travelled this far from Adittown in years. Is it your second time? Not really. Vinsel paused a bit and continued, fiddling with his gloves. It's my first time visiting the capital. I guess telling you to have a pleasant trip would be in poor taste. Oh no, not at all. His gloves were already on his hands properly, but he kept fiddling the edges. So, yeah, spoiler territory again if you haven't watched the original gameplay, but here we go. Vinsel is kind of like, isn't he like a hidden prince or something? He's missing a finger and he's got poison in that finger which he then drinks and kills himself. So his gloves are part of his disguise. So here we go. Didn't you say before that you might hire me for a case? Indeed, my good detective. Anything you want to share so I can prepare? It's just investigating a trivial matter. Easy as it sounds. No need to over-prepare. Okay, although we know all of his secrets. The spice business must be making money lately, given the price of pepper in the city just tripled. The same goes for cinnamon and cloves. Even the price of basil has gone up a lot. I know it's the holidays, but surely it can't be that expensive. It's because spice shipments haven't yet arrived at port. Merchants are still consuming their inventories while waiting for that cargo. Naturally the price goes up as supplies dwindle. Hey, your gloves. Those gloves of yours look very stylish. Vinsel stretched his bow tie and put it together. Great minds think alike. I've always preferred thick gloves, especially those thick enough to retain their shape while empty. Oh, of course. So we just reversed what Vinsel said to us before. I think that's what we just did. I raised my mug, and he did too. To Christmas. To snow. Our mugs clicked, and I could smell the aroma of pale ale mixed with fresh basil in his cup as his drink sloshed. Okay, Lunik. I sat down beside Lunik. He didn't seem to notice me. What terrible weather. Okay, so when do you think the snow's going to stop? I think that it could still go on for some time. Says Morvay, I know we should have left earlier. If only I knew about this awful snow. I'll be a laughingstock if I miss the King's Christmas banquet. Come to think of it, how are my carriage horses? Have they been seen to? Oh, how do I put it? Talk straight, be mild. Let's talk straight. Your horses? They kind of froze to death. What? Outrageous! Calm down, let me explain. Je le savais, I know that dragon was useless. I knew by his look. He undoubtedly wouldn't be able to keep my horses safe. Actually, and that shark, with more muscle than sense, I could literally smell his stupidity even from here. Ne jamais faire confiance. Actually, the horses were dead before they were led back. Oh, my apologies. Yeah, they kind of broke their legs and suffered that way. Have you been to the King's Christmas banquet before, Marquise? I'm curious about what they serve. Oh, an excellent topic. Lunik cleared his throat, then narrated with enthusiasm while drinking his mulled wine. If I beckoned just so, ma sommelier, each person would be assigned one from the royal staff, would come over and fill my goblet with wine. The wine was magnifique. At each banquet, there would be at least one intemperate guest who, greedy for the fine wine, would fall unconscious before the end of the feast. If you had tasted the treasures of the king's cellar, you would fully comprehend why they risked showing such rudeness before His Majesty to drink to their heart's content. Even just speaking of such a divine nectar, I've become more and more aware of the wine in this tavern's... I tilted my head towards Sarzan, just to warn him. C'est bien, especially compared to some lesser establishments. Okay. By the way, if there's any other disputed cases in the future, feel free to send for me. Absolutely. Should I encounter such a case again? Your performance last time impressed me a lot, and I admire that. especially when you dared the criminal to strike you with the armour under your coat. Your bravery is remarkable as a detective. Let's talk about the tavern. Are you getting used to your room? Pardon? Well, the room, though unfashionable, is clean and the bed's comfortable. Okay, we'll leave it there. I didn't utter a word, and he didn't notice me go. Okay, let's talk to Sola. Sola was sitting next to Lunik, so I felt uneasy about talking to her. It would be better if Sola's alone. Okay, let's go and sit somewhere else. It's a completely different vibe now that we haven't had murders, imagine that. So here we go, these guys. Peter was starting to sway in his seat and let out a belch as Ionis clapped him on the shoulder. Yo, Peter, how you doing? Peter was passed out on the table. Don't get in a drinking contest with Ionis. Sharks can excrete alcohol through their skin, so it's impossible to beat them. Okay, Ionis. Ionis was gulping down his ale, while Peter was slumped down next to him, passed out. Gotta admit, he did a lot better than what I thought he would. I thought he'd give up after his third cup, but he made it all the way through to number 4. Okay, elegant. My eyes met elegance when I looked at her. About yesterday. It was a good end last night. Well done, though I admit, a murder case would have raised your cachet. I'm here to enjoy my vacation, not solve murders. Okay, so about today. Assuming things don't change, there's going to be another case? Another one? Vincel's going to set up a trap that injures Anzox. You told me that Vincel was my client. Why would he set something up to hurt Anzox? That's kind of a long story. Sarzan finished arguing with Kane, walked out of the kitchen, and pulled the dartboard from underneath the counter. If any of you want something to do while you wait for dinner, I recommend darts. I'm only offering the dartboard and darts. Any bets you want to place is up to you. Yeah, let's do it. Anzox bounced up from his seat with an eager grin. I guess the idea of possible loot or a sense of challenge has kindled some kind of long-lost instinct from his ancient dragon ancestors. Yeah, I'm not participating. I'm gonna watch. I shall watch too. It's tempting. Well, I'll watch as well. Fine by me, but I'm gonna check my luggage upstairs so I can leave immediately once the snow stops. Before anyone could interrupt, Vincel put down his cup and walked upstairs. This is what he does. He sneaks upstairs and he sabotages the ladder that then falls down and injures Anzox. There he goes. I'm just gonna watch. Just try it. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Ionis pinched Peter's ear and pulled him out of his seat. I suppose I can join in and see what happens. Well, that makes 7 participants. Anzox, Trivi, Vincel, Ionis, Elegant Peter, oh, and myself. What about you? It's just a practice round, no bets. Okay, let's do it. Of course I've been, frankly speaking, I practiced. So, that's 8 of us. What are we waiting for? When everyone's here, let's get started. Vincel's upstairs, I'll go get him. Vincel was in the corridor, holding the wooden handle which was tied to the rope and trying to snap it. Mr. Roman, what brings you here? He hid his hands behind him as soon as he saw me and smiled. Everyone's waiting downstairs so the game can start. Oh, I see. Well, I'll just be a minute. Vincel stepped forward and tried to go around me. I raised my hand to block his way. So, yeah, I'm just going to get right to the point here. What? You're trying to break the handle and put it back, aren't you? That way when Herring comes up here to get his rosary, it's going to snap, and the latter will smash his head in. Unfortunately, your plan's not going to work. Someone else is going to be the victim, so I suggest you give up now. If you don't stop this, the innocent person is going to get hit on the ladder instead of Herring. What? You? Vincel's hair stood up and his eyes widened. What are you talking about? I'm just resting my hand on the handle. Knowing what happened to you and your brother, I understand why you want revenge on Herring. However, how'd you know that? I'm a detective, Vincel, or should I say Jonathan? Oh god, yeah, he knows. There, that's it. That look of shock makes all of this more satisfying. I know you want revenge for your brother, but this isn't the way. No. Vincel's tail lashed angrily, and his lips pulled back to show his teeth. I have to. I hired someone else to track him and his accomplice, and now here he is in the tavern. This is God giving me an opportunity. Considering how your prior 2 attempts turned out, I've got to disagree. I'm not going to let you kill him, but I can help you bring him to justice. All you have to do is look the other way. This trap. Your trap's going to hurt Anzox. I know you're expecting Herring to go upstairs to get the rosary at dinner time, but you missed something. Herring has been sending Anzox to do things for him, so Anzox is going to trigger the trap. And for your troubles, you'll be tied up in the cellar, and trust me, you're not going to enjoy that. However, you managed to escape and tried to murder Heron in his room, but unbeknownst to you, Heron and Peter have exchanged rooms, so you'll murder Peter by mistake. And if you don't listen to me right now, all you're going to end up doing is enjoying the taste of apple seed poison that you got hidden in your pinky finger of your glove. What, how did you know? Now then, I've got an idea for how to get you what you want without any bloodshed. What do you say? Okay, I'm listening. A bit of divine intervention. What? Deus Ex Machina? Okay. We'll talk about the plan in the attic after dinner. Remember to ask Sanson and Anzox to join us. Now, let's go downstairs and play the game. I went downstairs with Vincel. I'm sorry to keep you guys waiting. It's fine, we're just about to start. Sanson lifted up the dartboard, hung it on the wall behind the counter. With its peeling black paint and being riddled with hundreds of dart holes, the dartboard looked as old as the tavern. He took 3 darts from the groove behind the board and then put them on the table. 3 darts only, throw them in turns. I'm not going to give you any more in case you toss them around. Also, this should be obvious, don't stick them in the table. Well, that's just tempting fate. Anzox walked in from the table first. Just stand behind the brick here. Okay, ready, fire. So we've done this before, but it's nice to hang out with the characters while they're still alive. That's it, 41 in total. Okay, that last dart sucked. I expected you to be an expert seeing as you're so active. Next up. Thrivy, why is it so high? Yeah, he aims low. Double 19, triple 3 and 3. 50. Wow, that's a fluke. Next up. I've not played dance in a long time, so please forgive my humble showing. Vincel took the darts in his left hand and took aim. Pretty good. 28 in total. Oh, it looked good, but actually he missed. Never mind. Next up. Ines, I'm ready. There we go. Triple 5, half bullseye and 60. So. Should I hold it like this? Almost. Just be careful. Don't throw him at the wall, please. And especially don't throw him at the pictures or else. Or else? Oh god. That is a mess. 60 points though. Beginner's luck. Here comes Elegant. There we go. 20, triple 20 and a miss. 80. Oh, it seems luck favours me as well. That wasn't luck and you know it. Yeah, Elegant can totally throw. My turn. Roman, help me take a note. There we go. 71 total. As to be expected. It's your turn. Here we go. So before, I was aiming for like... Okay, I'm going to aim for the bullseyes this time. Half bullseye, 25. Yeah, aim for the bullseye. No, down. Oh, what is that? Oh, another half bullseye. And this should be it. And a proper bullseye. 100 points total. You're the champion. You live up to the title, Great Detective. Last time I got 2 triples and a 20. So that was 140. So we still won though. I don't think darts have much to do with being the detective, but I'll take the win. This is just the warm-up. The next one's going to be the real thing. But first, let me find my keychain. You mean that one? Oh yeah, that's it. Where the hell did it go before? Vincel is acting. Peter pulled me aside. Roman, can I ask you to do me a favour? What's this? Oh yeah, because Vincel stole the key. We need to be careful of that as well. Oh, I just want to send a letter to Hela. Could you help me write it? Hela? That little hair you've got your eye on? Yeah, the her. Do you know if she can read? She can ask someone else to read it for her. Refuse, wow, that's crossed through. Yeah, of course we'll do it. Okay, just tell me what you want it to say and I'll write it out. Really? Thanks so much. The next round's going to begin shortly. Let's do it. Here we go. Peter rubbed his hands and walked to the counter. After a few rounds, Vincel has lost all of his 45 state wager. Though it wasn't a big amount for him, he looked mournful as he walked back to the counter. Ines turned the tables in the later rounds and even won a little. Elegant pretended to be a novice and finally managed to lose only a small sum of money. Anzox and Sarzan were in first and second place. I figured that Sarzan was going to win the whole pot with his techniques, but Anzox got unexpected 360 points and won. It seems luck didn't bless the 2 rookies, as Peter and Thrivy tried hard but could only break even. I wasn't in a good mood, so I lost more than what Elegant did. Sarzan was absent for later turns because he was busy preparing the Christmas dinner in the kitchen. I can't manage this all by myself. Kane, lend us a hand please? Only if I'm allowed to prepare the stew. Okay, fine, get in here. Kane smirked and followed Sarzan into the kitchen. Christmas afternoon. Okay, let's chat with Anzox. Now he hasn't been knocked out, we can do something new. I started walking toward the counter that Anzox was in. The lute was gently pressed against his body as he plucked the strings softly and hummed with the tune. This song sounds a little bit familiar. What is it? 'Tis an old lullaby, so it's not strange that you think it's unfamiliar. Anzox continued to hum, so I sat nearby to listen. Just gonna chill out by the fireside. The others in the pub seemed to sleep soundly, although I don't know why, I just can't relax. Probably because of Anzox. He seems like the type to start playing fast-paced dance music the second everybody starts to nod off. Do you think you could play something a bit more Christmassy? I'll do it after dinner. I'll be in a better mood once I have a full stomach. The smell of mutton gradually wafted in from the kitchen. Anzox and I couldn't help turn our heads. Christmas dinner's almost ready. Could you guys help bring the tables together? Hell yeah. I'll start serving dinner when everyone's here. Me, Heron and Ines started moving the 3 round tables, placing the long table top on top and then laying red and green striped tablecloths over the top. It was getting dark and everyone gathered at the table. That's it. Merry Christmas! Make with the music already. You can wait until after I fill my belly, Ines. I'm not playing until after dinner, no matter how much money I'm given. What about 20 Rayar? Wow, pay up first. Kane stepped out of the kitchen, carrying a large steaming pot. Stewed carrot. Vincel pulled his plate back. Wow. And my stewed mutton. Vincel pushed his plate forward. Sarzan took the lid of the 2 pots and dropped back to the kitchen. He soon returned with 2 large platters of grilled meat and baked apples. There are still apples this season? If stored properly, yeah, you can eat them all year round. Although, this plate is my last stock. As soon as Sarzan set the last few dishes down, everyone started to reach out. Wait a sec. What? Ionis's hands hung in the air, his eyes looking a bit vicious. I've nearly starved to death, forget about prayer. Vincel finally came to himself and covered his mouth. Yeah, don't let slip, don't get anybody injured please. I snatched a roast apple before Ionis reached out his hands. We ate a proper Christmas dinner, and now it's time to deal with the real business at hand. I lowered the ladder slowly into the corridor. Vincel, Anzox and Sarzan followed me up. So, Detective, what's this cunning plan of yours? I plan to make him confess his crimes, then we can take him to the judiciary. And how do you plan to do that? Well, I'm gonna need some help from Sarzan and Anzox. What? Well, you might sacrifice a little, but I'm sure Vincel's gonna reward you handsomely, right? Only if the mad scheme works. Deal. Sarzan, do you still have those fake angel wings you wore for April Fools? Let me think. They're around here somewhere. Why is that? I looked at Anzox. Do you know any hymns? Something nice and familiar, like you'd hear in one of Rimp's churches? Fake wings and hymns? What are you thinking? Listen, we're going to dress you with the wings and lower you down to Heron's window on the 2nd floor with rope. Oh my god, this is an absolutely fascinating plan. Right on cue. Okay, so is Heron in his room now? This whole I know everything business of yours is growing tiresome. You're just jealous. He's praying at his window. Take your time. I doubt he's going to be going anywhere. This... Ready or not? So what am I doing? We're going to lower you down from the attic from the 2nd floor. Then you begin to play the lute. If Heron says something, memorize it. We can send him to jail if he admits he and the abbot stole money and blamed it on the Noble brothers. Of course, if he admitted to bullying Thrivy too, that would be even better. A literal god from a machine. Is this seriously going to work? I don't think Heron is particularly pious. Piety has nothing to do with it. Guilt is what matters. What if he thinks my appearance is a good omen and has no intention of confessing? If he doesn't want to confess, just threaten him with hellfire and damnation or something. Trust me, any angel that looks like you could only be an angel of judgment. I handed one end of the rope to Sarzan and tied the other around Anzox's waist. I'm going to go to his door and listen. When you're ready, let Anzox down slow. Vincel and I quickly climbed down the ladder and put our ears against Heron's door. Okay, please whisper in my heart, so that your truth may fill my soul and purify my sin. May you guide me to the path of this. I confess your sins, Friar Heron, lest hellfire consume you. I'll say this, Anzox is definitely the right person for this job. For a moment, even I was convinced that an angel had come down to smite Heron. I've committed unforgivable sins, performed unrighteous deeds. I aided the abbot in stealing from the funds to restore God's cathedral. I falsely accused the innocent of fraud. Please God, save me and show me the way. Vincel's smile was wide and gleeful. Do you admit to bullying the weak? I have harmed the weak, yes. Please, I'll take 10 times the pain I inflicted on him. Just forgive me. Thrivy, who'd come upstairs to find out what was going on, froze as he heard Heron's horse screaming. When it stopped snowing, just repeat what you said to the judiciary, okay? I pushed open Heron's unlocked door, and the hyena turned to look at me in astonishment. Merry Christmas. We got him. We got him. Heron is the guy. He's the guy who caused everything. And if he admits to his guilt, there'll be no other problems. We stopped the murder, and we stopped the cycle of, revenge and hatred. So that is our good ending, and we made it through to the end of Roman's Christmas. Thank you for saving us. Everybody survived, ultimately. After that dramatic moment, we stayed in the tavern for 2 more days before the snow stopped. The murders that should have happened there were now only my memories. The White Star Tavern's still there, with steady customers. Anzot's finished the story of Draconia, though the ending wasn't satisfying. It was still an ending. When he comes to the White Star, sometimes he tells his audience a story about the Christmas murderers that never happened. Sazan now has one more thing to look forward to outside of his collection of fluffy white dragon portraits. Thrivy occasionally comes to the tavern for a drink after work. After Heron's trial, Vincel's record was cleared, and he returned to the capital as a spice merchant. Sure, he might not have his family fortune anymore, but he seems happy to have his family name cleared and his title reinstated. Heron was escorted to the judiciary after the snow stopped. He escaped the noose thanks to his affiliation with the church, but he's still going to stay in jail for a long time. That's it. That's it, he's in jail. I've heard that Thrivy sometimes visit him in his cell because they were childhood friends. Sort of. There's Cain. Under Sean's recommendation, Cain became Lunik and Sola's cook. From his letter, Sean and Cain's relationship seems to have been better than ever. As for Lunik and Sola, I don't know how long their relationship was going to last, but I hope that nothing bad happens. Yeah, because Lunik cheated with Ionis, which was weird. Ionis is still a regular customer, and he still hides his secrets. He escaped death at Lunik's hands, but the ultimate problem remains unsolved. For most people, homosexuality is still a felony. If someone like Ionis was accused of such behaviour, they might even be sentenced to death. If Apollyon stopped regarding it as a crime, maybe situations like Lunik's and Ionis's could be avoided. I don't know. As for Peter, he still orders carrot stew as always, though I suggested he get Anzots to write his love letter instead of me. As for me, I still get clients up at my office. The work is steady, especially since Elegant decided to set up shop with me. It's time to wake up now. I've got a big case today. And that is it. We got the true ending. So you go through the bad ending essentially with the main story, but when you restart, you get to fix all the past. And everybody is back to normal, everybody is alive, and no one died. And that was Roman's Christmas. I had a lot of fun with this one, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.